Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Real Talk. I'm your host, Saieed Ali, a spiritual consultant and real estate businessman. For those of you that are having spiritual problems, feel free to contact me, 339-1670 or 238-6716. Those of you who have properties to sell or looking for a property to buy, you can also get in touch with me. I want to say a special good night to you viewers of Real Talk in Trinidad and Tobago, up the Caribbean, and around the globe. Now, for those of you who are viewing us on Facebook, Real Talk with Saieed Ali, like and share the page. Talk to your friends, talk to your neighbor. Have you ever heard about Real Talk? Encourage them to go on the page, like it and share it. For those of you on YouTube, TT Real Talk, subscribe, hit the bell, and you would know when we go live. Now, viewers, Real Talk is the #1 current affairs program in Trinidad and Tobago. It became the #1 because of you, the viewers. And it's become the #1 because we deal with the issue that is facing us. We are not talking about an issue that is facing another country. We are talking about an issue that is facing us right here in Trinidad and Tobago. And who have to deal with these issues? We have appointed people in leadership position who have come down to us to ask of us to put them in that power to look over us. Always remember that. Always remember that. Whether a party come or it goes is because of us, the citizen. We have placed them there. So keep that in mind. Now, as we go along tonight, we're talking security tonight. We're talking security. I am not studying about COVID-19. I am not talking about TTPS. I am not talking about security companies. I am talking about the security in Trinidad and Tobago. Is our security compromised or not? Because we are hearing different tales and different stories concerning our security in Trinidad. And if a country do not have proper security, anything can come in and leave. Anything. So tonight, is our security in Trinidad and Tobago compromised? This is what I'm asking you. 238-6716. Feel free to call in. Let me hear what you have to say. Now, Attorney General Saieed Ali has slammed the United National Congress for his handling on the fuel issue. He was responding to a question from the opposition Senator Wade Mark in the Senate earlier today. Senator Mark questioned whether the government intend to pursue legal action against the purchaser for breach of contract.
Madam President, my honourable friend is searching for a scandal, and there is none. The lurching conclusions and exploratory remarks are driven by a political agenda of my friends opposite. The quite simple position in this has been advanced and stated clearly by the Minister of National Security and by the Minister with responsibility for energy, the Honourable Franklin Khan. There is no scandal. Any attempt by the UNC to stir one is against the best interests of Trinidad and Tobago, and the population is searching for a reason why there is such a driven attempt to bring adverse consequences upon Trinidad and Tobago solely by the UNC.
Now, viewers, we heard that from Stuart, my mistake, Saieed Ali, the Attorney General. Now listen this, The United National Congress is accusing the government of being desperate as it tries to downplay the issue of the Venezuelan vice president's visit to Trinidad, to this country. In a media release issued a short while ago, the UNC said the National Security Minister's statement yesterday have generated more questions than they have answered. That is what the leader of the UNC is saying. You all heard Mr. Farris just now. Now listen this. Remember when I was asking if Paria Fuel did sold Aruba the gas or the oil. Now, according to the minister, they have contracts. Nothing wrong. You have contracts. Okay. Now, Venezuela is under sanction from the United States, as also Ms. Rodriguez, the VP for Venezuela. If Paria Fueling have their contracts that Aruba bought gas and oil from Paria Fueling, in order to prevent the U.S. from placing a sanction on Trinidad and Tobago, which is a very, very serious issue and matters, and destruction could happen to Trinidad because of trade with the U.S. If Paria Fueling have the documents where they sold the gas or the oil to Aruba, I said last night on my show to Mr. Moses, I was directing that. Being the Foreign Affairs Minister, come out with the document and make it public so that the U.S. would see that Aruba did purchase their liquids from Paria Fueling. And because of the controversial thing that is going on, that document will be able to clear Trinidad and Tobago from being sanctioned from the U.S. Now, listen this. I tell you earlier, when Saieed Ali comes on set, I will bring to you the facts, nothing else but the facts. When I ask Moses to produce the documents, I feel I didn't know what I was saying. Senator Wade Mark also asked whether or not the government plans to investigate the contract. Listen to this.
Madam President, my honorable friend is searching for a scandal.
Having regard to the disclosure that there is a restriction clause in the Paria Fuel Trading Company and the Aruba Spot Purchase Fuel Agreement, does the government intend to pursue legal action against the purchaser for breach of contract?
So viewers, what they are asking for is documents to show Senator Wade Mark is asking for documents to show that they have documents. So when I come here and I ask for certain things, make it available. make it available. Because the U.S. Treasury is warning Trinidad of sanctions. The U.S. Treasury is telling Trinidad and Tobago, beware of sanctions. Yeah? So if all I didn't know, tonight all I know. And if sanctions do happen, well, God help the manufacturing companies in Trinidad and Tobago. God help them. Take right till another. Caller, good night.
Yeah, good night, Saieed Ali.
Go right ahead.
I just want to tell you the Barack farmers and how they've been robbed.
Okay, go right ahead. Go right ahead. Tell us.
Been robbed. It's showing on the TV just now, and I hope the government, Gary Griffith especially, I hope he look into that and check what it is be going on in the south side, and and who doing it. I go on. Have a good night.
Okay, so people are robbing the farmers up from Barapo. You gone? So viewers, if the Minister of National Security and the Minister of Foreign Affairs and the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago, Dr. Keith Rowley, if they don't produce documents stating that Aruba purchased these liquids of gas and oil from Paria Fueling, Trinidad and Tobago could end up under sanction. We could. Now this is a continuation from last night. I want to educate you all because the manufacturing companies and limited in Trinidad here, we export to the US and we buy raw material from the US into Trinidad. And if we are placed under sanctions, from what I'm hearing from the US Treasury, well then we are going down. You tell yourself COVID will carry us down, think again. Think again. Sanction by the US Treasury will carry us right underneath. Right underneath. The reason why I'm talking about this is because it is a concern for Trinidad and Tobago. It is a concern for the small, medium, and large business persons in Trinidad and Tobago. Whether you are in 1%, whether you are 2%, whether you have a call on the line? Caller, good night.
Hey, good night, good night.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. First side, let me see that suit you have on there looking real hard. I like that suit you have on there.
I read and I ready tonight.
Yeah. But on a serious note, side, you see this administration from the Prime Minister come down, they line so much, and it's sad thing about it, side, the line and they're not even carrying the same line for the lie. everybody have a different story. National Security Minister, the Attorney General here, and just now and the Prime Minister, they're not consistent with their life. That doesn't make it hard to believe. But the thing what I look at this whole gas deal side is, because we and Venezuela share this drug gas field deal, and because Mr. Juan Guaido has Donald Trump here right now, I understand, if sanctions were to be placed, I don't think they would place the sanctions on Trinidad itself. They would more put on the individuals, more so the administration, and the individuals who work in the oil company, because, to think about it, if the election were to call and the UNC were to come into power, and sanctions were to be placed on the entire country, and Mr. Guaido were to be ushered into power as president of Venezuela, they want to have good relations with the neighboring country, which is Trinidad. So I don't think they would want to put a sanction. I mean, at the end of the day, he really have no say on it. It's mostly the U.S. government. But because I say he have Donald Trump here, sanctions will be more placed on the individuals and not the country. That's my little take on it. But once again, I like your suit. Thank you.
Thank you, my friend. Tonight is fire. It's like a fire night, and I heated and I ready tonight, Because I gotta tell all of something. If Trinidad and Tobago is placed under sanction, it will hamper my business in outside country. So this is the reason why I get to know like this. And you see, the Business Association in Trinidad and Tobago is like we don't have a voice again. It's like we don't have a voice, because a couple days back, the chambers of I think the Business Association Chamber of Trinidad and Tobago sent a letter to the Honorable Prime Minister, and he ignored it. He ignored it. By you ignoring that, it tells me you don't care. That is what it tells me. So listen to this now. The real purpose. Now this information is circulating in Venezuela media presently as we speak. Here it is. I feel it's joking at this bring to all you, and it's now starting to surface up in the media in Trinidad and Tobago. Listen to this. The real purpose of the Venezuelan Vice President Delcy Rodriguez trip to Trinidad and Tobago in late March was to discuss oil and gas, listen carefully, oil and gas agreements, not COVID-19 pandemic. This info is circulating in Venezuela. And it now starts to surface up in Trinidad and Tobago media. So now, all you will understand. So because we affiliated with individuals from a country that is under sanction by the U.S., because of this, our economy in Trinidad and Tobago could crash totally. If we are on a string of a thread, that thickness holding on, well, that is it. That is it. So that is why I told you all on a previous show, in order to save Trinidad and Tobago economy, in order to prevent us from getting sanctioned from the U.S. Treasury that is surfacing up, let the Minister of Foreign Affairs, let the Honorable Prime Minister, Dr. Keith Rowley, and the Minister of National Security bring forward the documents. That is all they want to see, the documents. And that will clear Trinidad and Tobago from being sanctioned. Let me tell you something. The people who just leave Trinidad and Tobago to go in the U.S. to buy clothes in barrels and ship it down to Trinidad to sell on the streets or for your store, if we are placed under sanction, you wouldn't be able to do that anymore. You wouldn't be able to do that anymore. You will have to shut down your store, you will have to fire your workers, and you will have to look for another job. I'm talking about the small man. The small man I am talking about. What about those who ship in containers from the US to Trinidad? What you think gonna happen? Caller, good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
I'd like to make comments, one to the National Security Minister and one to our Commissioner of Police. The one to our National Security Minister. If we sold gas to Aruba, I would like to know who purchased the gas
Exactly.
from Aruba. Because they must have the person or the company name that purchased the gas from Aruba.
Yes.
And another one I want to ask our Commissioner of Police, because our National Security Minister don't know, and our Prime Minister don't know. And if you remember in the last local election, our Prime Minister was saying that he have a bounty on his head of $15 million.
Correct.
Right? And when he was keeping a meeting in Diego Martin, and the current went, nobody go around him to protect him. And Griffith said he was supposed to discipline them policemen because somebody's supposed to go around him. So my question to Griffith now is if he know about these people that came into this country to talk with the Prime Minister, with Delcy Rodriguez, because so far the Commissioner supposed to know because our National Security Minister don't know, our Prime Minister don't know. So we don't know if somebody had came here to assassinate the Prime Minister because they're not clearing the air on these things. So if...
Thank you.
Right.
Thank you, my friend. You see, I gotta tell you something. Is our security in Trinidad and Tobago compromised? Because if the Prime Minister said he didn't know who come, and the Minister of National Security said he don't know who come on the plane, and then we have the head of the Security Council, which is also the Prime Minister, and they are saying they don't know who come in the plane, well then anything could come and go in Trinidad. Anything. We are talking about a security for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago. Is that compromise? Because a plane came into Trinidad while Trinidad borders was locked down with permission from the National Security Minister, and he himself said he don't know who came in it. Well then Trinidad and Tobago have no security. We have none. We are looking for the US to come in and sanction us. That is what we are looking for. Now listen this. You have a call on line? Caller, good night.
Hi, good night, Saieed.
Go right ahead.
Does this government really cares about COVID-19, or is it they are capitalizing on COVID-19? First of all, they said they're going to spend $6 billion. They spend 900 and something million.
34 million.
On COVID-19. Could they tell me how much masks they give out, how much, they are just electioneering, and I was wondering, when they said they're bringing up party financing law, is it that they would have accumulated all the money already because of this pandemic, and that they're now going to use it to do party financing? Could they use an accountant? You must know they need a forensic audit to show how this money has been.
I do apologize. I do apologize for cutting you. Please accept my humble apology. But I want to stick on security for Trinidad and Tobago. Because the business sector in Trinidad and Tobago understands the meaning of sanctions. They understand that their business will shut down. It's not about the UNC and it's not about the PNM. It's about Trinidad and Tobago breaks in a sanction from the US. It's not about who in party now, The horse out the stable. The horse out the stable. Neither one of them now could come up and say who meet who, and this meet that, and that meet the next, and hog meet donkey, and donkey meet cat. Nobody can come out and say who meet who. And that places us as business people a risk in Trinidad. Not just a risk, a big time risk. A financial risk. A shut down our business and lose dollars risk. Listen this. Oilfield Workers Trade Union has added its voice to the ongoing fuel issue. President General of the Oilfield Workers Trade Union, Ansel Roger, said, if Paria entered into such an arrangement, it should be condemned.
But I can say categorically that if Paria entered into any arrangement, which arrangement has to do with Venezuela, that arrangement is wrong and should be condemned. If they knowingly enter into that arrangement. If Prime Minister or ministers of government enter into those arrangements, which arrangements will put the country at risk with respect to sanctions from the United States government.
So you hear that, viewers? Let me tell you something. I ain't talking nothing about COVID again, you know. I ain't talking nothing about COVID again, you know, because I understand what sanction means, you know. Because I gotta tell you something. I just have land selling outside Trinidad and Tobago, in Caribbean countries, going up the island. And if the US places a sanction on Trinidad and Tobago, I cannot do business outside. Because you know what would happen? You know what would happen? Let's just say an individual from Barbados does business with Saieed in Trinidad, which we become a country under sanction. They are putting Barbados at risk. So what's going to happen to Saieed business? Huh? What's going to happen to the small store owners who exporting, who's importing? What's going to happen to them? I forget about COVID, you know. COVID not important to me anymore, you know. You know what is important to Trinidad and Tobago? Preventing a sanction. Preventing a sanction. Take what I'm telling all you. You all have no idea how serious it is, you know. The business sectors in Trinidad know how serious it is. You notice when I go up on a media platform, they're starting to stomach. They're starting to stomach. Huh? Caller, good night.
Hello, good night.
Go right ahead.
Right. Is the government saying that they have an arrangement with Aruba and everything is above board and the citizens have nothing to worry about? And what Kamala and Munilal and them is saying is wrong information, and then now you see where the plane that has sanction on it has landed in Trinidad and Tobago. So
Yep.
at least that is under the Minister of Security.
Yep.
He should be given his Martin papers. Thank you. Good night.
Thank you, my friend. You see, I want you all to understand the seriousness of sanction in Trinidad. Let me tell you something. I could talk about a whole lot of different things, you know. I could talk about a whole lot of different things, but presently it is irrelevant. Because we are on the watch list now of the United States concerning sanctions and dealing with a country that is under sanction. I could look at my business being crippled or shut down outside Trinidad. That is what I am looking at now. Just imagine that. Caller, good night.
Hi, good night.
Go right
I
ahead.
would like for one of the journalists tomorrow in the press conference to ask the CMO and Mr. Dial Singh if they got helpful information from Delcy Rodriguez to attack this COVID thing.
Well, I hear and I talk that she said she had it. I'm just waiting to confirm it.
I just want to find out what she brought up to fight this thing. So if you could put it through.
Thank you, my friend. I will try to get the information. Let me tell you something. It's serious. It's serious. It's serious. I don't want to hear how much money the government had to spend again. I don't want to talk about how much they're spending on the health. I don't want to talk about how much they're spending on COVID again. Because if we get up tomorrow morning, the U.S. Treasury today talk about sanctions for Trinidad. If we get up tomorrow morning and hear Trinidad is being sanctioned by the United States, what are we to do? What are the lawyers to do? What are the judges to do? What are the ministers to do? What is the small man going to do? Just last night I was asking these ministers, bring forth the document. Senator Wade Mark asked for it today. So when you tell yourself, we are not being looked at from people in authority, well, let's think again. Caller, good night.
Good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
Yeah. Rowley is the most lied prime minister past in this country.
Thank you, my friend. Well, I want to hear next bacchanal. Remember, the Minister of Health saying that China have been donating masks to Trinidad and Tobago. Remember that? We don't have to worry about masks. We have probably 1 million masks, he said. We didn't have to worry about it. All I remember that? Come back to me. Now listen this. Listen this carefully here. Government has allocated $5 million for the acquisition of face masks. According to the Finance Minister, Colin Imbert, these masks would be distributed to members of the public free of charge. Just imagine that. All the time they're saying, we have about 1 million masks. We don't have to worry about masks. China donating masks. When I asked them about the container that they took from a businessman down here and balling donation from China, everybody mouth went zip. Their mouths went zip. Not a word to speak about that again. I have an intelligence unit running. I know about security. I know about sanction. That is why I could bring it to your attention. Something that is important to you, the citizen. Listen to this again. Meanwhile, Health Minister Terence Dialsingh said the Attorney General is looking at whether wearing a mask should be made part of a law.
The issue that you raise, and quite properly, is it going to be a law? The Attorney General is looking at that issue right now, as I indicated last week in response to a similar question. So the Attorney General is looking at whether wearing of masks can in fact be a law or be a part of the regulations.
So now, they have allocated $5 million to buy masks now for the citizens. Now they want to make it a law now. But wasn't that the same? Minister of Health came out and say that China is donating masks to us. We have 1 million and we ain't have to worry. Now while you're buying masks for $5 million, you could fool some of the people all the time, but you can't fool all the people all the time. My thing now is about the security for Trinidad and Tobago. That is my thing. Keep in mind, there are billions spent in the food importation to Trinidad. If sanctions come onto Trinidad, we wouldn't be able to import as much as a dal grain. You know all who like dal, bus up shots, dal puri and thing? Let me tell you something. That won't be dal puri, you know. That would be puri. Because we wouldn't have the dal to put in it. Take what I tell you. My thing is about security for Trinidad. Because the Security Council, who's the Prime Minister, I know nothing. Dennis Moses, I know nothing. Minister of National Security, well, we ain't know who come on the plane. But you give authorization. Call a good night.
Very good evening to Mr. Said.
To you, my friend.
Definitely, beyond the shadow of a doubt, security was compromised. Reason, the diplomatic center is a restricted place. Not every Tom, Dick, and Harry could waltz in.
Correct.
If I have some people from abroad coming by my house, I supposed to know who is coming. So they are lying. But what is bothering me is if everything was above board, why did the vessel, the tanker, turn off the transponder when they reached in international waters? Definitely they had something to hide, all the best.
Thank you, my friend. I tell you, watch me here talking about COVID again, you know. That's not important, you know. Getting the food to rally through COVID from an outside country is important. Getting masks from an outside country to go through COVID-19 is important. Getting medication to go through COVID-19 is important. That is important. So now will you understand why I'm talking about sanction. Let me tell you something. You know when you put up a firecracker and you put up a big pot and you're going to make cook, you see when the water getting hot, you see steam coming out? Well, right now, Trinidad and Tobago, the steam starting to come out. Because the U.S. Treasury is talking about sanctions to Trinidad. It came up today. Call a good night.
Yeah, good night, Said.
Go right ahead.
If they can't produce the documents, what they should do is call it an election to save Trinidad and Tobago.
Thank you, my friend. I want to hear what you had to say. 2386716. Feel free to call in. Let me tell you something. This is not only a concern of me doing business outside, you know. It is a concern on if we have enough food in Trinidad and Tobago. That is my concern. The business I have on the outside, it could put on hold. You know why? You know why? Because I wouldn't encourage dealing with a businessman on the outside to know that we under sanction and I'm going to put them under sanction. Next thing, the U.S. come and pick up Saieed Ali now. I'm going down the road in a plane. You feel I'm going to do like them? I had to be mad. Hold a good night.
Yeah, good night, Said.
Go right ahead.
Said, there's a topic about yesterday, right? Yesterday, I see they opened the food place there, right? Hello?
Yeah, I'm listening. Go ahead.
Yeah. They come and open up the food place, the double place, and all them things. So what the ministers them supposed to do, they said they bring a respirator in Trinidad for the people to get free. And they're bringing no respirator, so the people going to buy doubles, para, to put it in their mouth for a respirator, it look like. There's none of them have a respirator there. Nobody.
Thank you, my friend. Now listen this. Our Prime Minister was asked a question. Can we go to the beach? The Prime Minister said we could get COVID-19 on the beach. We could get COVID-19 on the beach. Good. All well and good. That's your statement. You made it. Nothing wrong with that. Going in a food establishment with about 20 or 30 people stand up in a 15 by 15. With about 20, 30 people inside it. Do you think we will get COVID-19 or not? Or let's think about that. If we will get COVID-19 on the beach, which is an open area, what do you think would happen to us if we go into a food establishment and it have about 20 people inside it waiting to be served in an enclosed area with the AC on? What do you think will happen? What do you think will happen? Like I said, the man on the roadmap board for Trinidad and Tobago is the franchise holder, or not, my mistake, the chairman for Prestige Holding. And he said he didn't know Food Place was going to open. He didn't know. I was reading an article today. Where Royal Castle said that it was better business for them. Better business. They wanted to know how. They wanted to know how the big red building could have had supplies and they could not. The individual on the roadmap board for Trinidad and Tobago COVID-19 is the chairman of Prestige Holding. And then you want to come out and tell the people, I know nothing about that. So I have something for the Prime Minister. I have something for the Health Minister. I have something for the CMO. I am a Muslim. I go to mosque. And if you all could open fast food business for the citizens of Trinidad and Tobago to go in and gather in 10s and 20, why the hell can't I go to mosque on a Friday? Why the hell the Christians cannot have church on a Sunday morning? Why the hell the temples and them cannot have their Sunday morning worship? And that's for the CMO. That's for the Minister of Health. And that's for the Prime Minister of Trinidad and Tobago. Because if all are opening up business, and the only thing all are opening up is food place for people to gather inside, 2-3 lines by the 10s and by the 20s, why the hell we cannot go to our place of worship come Friday or come Sunday? Let me tell you something. Do not tell me that if you stay home and pray, God will hear you. We in COVID-19, why the hell are they open food place? And we could stay home and cook? So don't tell me if we stay home, God will hear me. We are on a stay-at-home policy. We could damn well cook home. On the 24th of this month is Eid. And I am making a general statement. Our Minister of Health said one person, South Korea, went into a nightclub and infected 38 people. 38 or 34 people somewhere around there. So I asking him now, on public television, if we go into a food place with 20 people and one asymptomatic go in there then, what's going to happen? That's 20 or 30 people becoming asymptomatic. Am I right, CMO? Am I right, Minister of Health? And why it is only food place? Non-essential workers in Trinidad and Tobago are home. The only sectors that is performing duties in Trinidad and Tobago is the government sectors. WASA, TNTech, Health, Police, Postal, Coast Guard, the Army. What again? Other than that, everybody home. Other than that, everybody home. Because what? We is non-essential. And I'm sure these places and them are working. Some of them have wife. Some of them have girlfriend. Some of them still living in their mother house. Some now coming from by their boyfriend or their girlfriend. And I'm sure they know they're going to work. So they could cook some food and they go carry it to work. All you come now, man. All you come now, man. So I want to know now, since that you open food place, I have nothing against the food place in Trinidad and Tobago, you know. Nothing. I have nothing against all you. But if all you're opening all your business, to invite people to come in and join the line, by the 10 or by the 20s, let me tell you something. You yourself inside your business could get COVID-19. You yourself. And in that case, I could go to mosque. The Christian could go to their church. The temples on a Sunday, they could go to worship. And keep your 3 feet. If I lie, somebody tell me. Call a good night. Hello?
Yes. Hello.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Saieed, a very good night, sir.
I'm not hearing you.
You do an excellent job by educating the people and letting them know what the sanction is about. You know, I am from Washington, D.C., and I would like to know if we're going to still get Al-Proof to put a sanction. Because where we're going to get China, where we're going to get Alu, where we're going to get Dal, where we're going to get Onion, then what will happen to them? What are they going to eat?
Thank you, my friend. This afternoon, I got a call from a guy. He said, Saeed, I'm in Saudi Arabia. And in Saudi, we watch your show. I was like, what? He said, yes. You are a #1 show in Saudi because you come out with the facts. And the people love it. That's what I said night before. I could go to Dubai or Arabia or Saudi and speak in Arabic and live and do business. But we have some businessmen down here now. Some people running. Can't talk nothing more than English. But they want to challenge me. Call a good night. I want to hear. I'll keep calling. 2386716.
The is not the same man said they're giving out free all in the bus terminals all over the place.
Yes.
Free. Now he talking about buying man. Yep. Because they get $5 million, just like how we did the deal in Sandy Grande. And like Gary cannot investigate this thing. What Gary doing? Gary run an investigation until Grande and Balandra and lock up one of them.
Thank you, my friend. Well said. So to the ministers now, to the COVID board members, the roadmap people, I want to go to mosque coming here now. And I want my Muslim brothers in Trinidad and Tobago to also go to mosque. Because if all I could open food place, when 90% of the people in Trinidad and Tobago staying at home, well, I could go to mosque. And I'm talking on behalf of the religious sector in Trinidad and Tobago. I'm not just talking for Muslims. I'm talking for Hindu, I'm talking for Christian, I'm talking for Roman Catholic, I'm talking for Baptist, I'm talking for Shango Baptist, you name it. You cannot tell me you opening food place where it have lines 15 and 20 feet long, people by the 10s and by the 20s in food place, and I can't go to mosque? And you tell me pray from home, God go hear you? The bloody hell people can stay home and cook food. Call a good night. Hello? Next call, you ain't hearing that. If this is not real, now what I am doing here, well, you be the judge. You be the judge. Because I stand here as a representative, as a mouthpiece, as an activist, as a leader for Trinidad and Tobago. Call a good night.
Good night, Mr. Ali.
Go right ahead.
Mr. Ali, you know, those big business, food places as well, Castland and Subway, said last week Thursday they was cleaning up their place because they know before the Prime Minister that them know the place was open. And the place was open Monday, which was yesterday.
Thank you, my friend. I want to go to mosque. I want to go to mosque. And I will keep ringing it until some ministers come out and say something. The pastors want to keep their congregation. The pundits want to meet with their congregation. The Baptists want to go to church. But we open food place. So when you go in, you go congregate in the food place while you're preparing your meal and somebody sneeze. And you want to know if it have flashes inside it. Because everybody out the door. And we have a roadmap committee set up to steer Trinidad and Tobago through COVID-19. And you know how they're steering it? Open up food place, leave the rest of business closed. You see this? This red suit is a red and a ready for you tonight. I want to hear what the minister is saying coming to the religious sector because they're standing up. If the food place could open, the temple, the church, the mosque could open. Take what I tell you earlier. And I will run with this story whole, the week now starting as Tuesday night, whole night. And I want to hear what the religious organization in Trinidad saying about that. Don't tell me stay home and pray now. I will tell you point blank stay home and cook your food. Point blank I will tell you. And don't tell me it's for the safety of Trinidad and Tobago, you know, of spreading COVID-19, you know, because you should have think before you open a food place, because they're going to have gathering. Like I said, I am not against the people with their food place, but I'm stating out some facts to all you. And some facts are stating out to all you. Tire shop can't open. Mechanic shop cannot open. We will get COVID-19. Electrical shop cannot open. We go get COVID-19. We can't walk in a store and buy a jersey. We go get COVID-19. It had too much of people. We can't go on the beach where everybody spread out in an open area, more than 6 feet apart. We go get COVID-19 if we breathe. But we going into a food place where people jamming you up and they're sweaty, but we can't get COVID-19 there. Them as rulers. That's the kind of rulers we have. Well, let me tell you, listen, me afraid nobody, you know. Nobody are funding real talk, you know. Nobody. And I talking for what I believe is right. Call a good night.
Hello, good night, Saeed.
Go right ahead.
You're red, but you're not ready. I can tell you that. Call out your Muslim brothers and sisters to go to church. Call out everybody, open the business place, and see how much they can lock up. You are ready yet.
Thank you, my friend. But I'm making it very clear. If the business places could open, for we to go in and buy food, open the religious sectors. I am telling you, I will run with this until they decide to do something. Viewers, we are out of time for tonight. Keep in mind, I have my food drive going on. Real Talk have its food drive going on. Feel free to donate. Feel free to plant a seed of $1,000. For those of you who understand what planting a seed is, feel free to do it. By this week, it will make us 450 hampers, market stuff, groceries, and chicken we're giving out. That is our drive. We did it different. Strokeman started to follow. Strokeman started to follow. When we post up what we're doing, people started to follow. So, Real Talk, Saieed is a leader. God made me a head, not a tail. So, viewers, feel free to call me 339-1670, 238-6716. Feel free to donate. Plant a seed of $1,000 to our drive and watch God work a miracle in your life. Viewers, we are out of time for tonight. Until we meet again tomorrow night, illa anta mashandar aba illa sar illa. In every country have a leader. In every country have a leader. Good night until we meet again.